Yeah, hello. I know like Marc would tell you how good of a shot he is and how good of a hunter he is. You know, he'd like to tell you he knows everything about everything, and his nickname was Data Bank. Look, he's even wrote a book on how to hunt. If you ever need it, I got it laying on the shelf over here at Patois.
Hey Marc, if you want to learn how to do some barbecue and some smoking, come to Scott McWilliams in Pilottown, Louisiana. Yacht!
Say Ryan Gootee may be the best duck hunter slash CEO of a construction company. I'm just kidding. Of course, he is living in Lenny Labiche's shadow. There'd be no ducks or no geese if there wasn't a Lenny Labiche for Gootee. That's okay. Gootee, you have a lot of other redeeming qualities. Just kidding, you know.
Oh, and by the way, in that book, there's also a chapter on how bad Gootee sucks.
Here I am getting ready for this hunting trip packing. Just want to make sure everybody packs everything, including the people, you know, that are kind of rookies like Gootee. Make sure, don't forget toilet paper. You will be using toilet paper every hunt. Don't forget to pack it.
I remember a hunting trip one time with Tate, and it was one I'll never forget. We had a group of speckle bellies coming in, and they were about 80 yards out, and before we could even get them in shooting range, Doug raised up. I heard 3 shots fired, and 3 speckle bellies fell. And before I knew it, I looked over, and Doug had finished 61 powdered donuts and a cup of coffee in the blind, and as it turns out, my dad had killed a triple on speckle bellies. It was nothing short of amazing. I don't know which one was more spectacular, the fact that Doug ate 61 powdered donuts or my dad got a triple, but I know it's a hunt I'll never forget.
Doug Tate, he's a wonderful hunter. He's about as good of a hunter as he is runner, which isn't saying very much.
Dave Farnsworth, he's a fantastic hunter, especially if you know his background. Dave went to an uppity school in New Orleans where growing up, they didn't pull their own trigger. Who pulled the trigger? Their mannies, their butlers, their bird boys. Dave was the very first person from that high school to pull the trigger, and it's evident today because he's a great hunter.
Dave Farnsworth? Of course I've hunted with him. He's the only hunter that has camouflage made by Gucci and a gun made by Louis Vuitton.
So I was asked to share a couple of words about Lenny and hunting, and my experiences. As y'all may or may not know, I'm not exactly a big hunter, but a couple times I have gone. I was sincerely impressed with Donnie Elmore, the best hunter I've ever seen, the best crack shot. Totally impressed me to no end on his hunting skills. As for Lenny, he really hasn't impressed me much with anything in my whole life. What impresses me is how you can spend a bunch of money on whatever the flavor of the month is with him. From when we were younger, it was joining clubs for racquetball, to golf, to triathlons, to deer hunting clubs, whatever he's doing now and then. I guess the next adventure will probably be killing dolphins or something like that and doing trips to Alaska for it. But yeah, other than that, yeah, I don't really have too much more to say about Lenny and his hunting excursions besides the amount of money he spends on this stuff.
Lenny Labiche? Sure, I know him. He probably owes Ryan Gootee back rent. Why? Because he's been living in his shadow for so long.
You gotta run at him.
Hey Alf, I just figured out we've been hunting for, I don't know, 28 years now. And I can't think of a finer companion in the blind and a worse shot than you.
Yeah, I'm giving you this video to talk about how great of a hunter I am. The skills I picked up from Pilot Town. As a runt, running the streets, target practicing on the ducks, a couple of deer, geese, rabbits, pouldu. Started with my little 20 gauge, graduated on up to my 12 gauge pump, 870 Express. Knocking those birds out the air left and right. Gained my skills probably at 6 years old. Probably shooting like I was a 30-year-old by that point. Anyway, spent much of my time, much of my youth down in that Pilot Town, hunting them ducks back at Pilot Town, smoking them.